Hello, welcome to video training. We'll be covering accounts payable, level 2, balancing checkbook, and running some reports. Okay, let's go into accounts payable from the main menu. Let's select bank, reconcile bank system. Okay, let's just take a second and explain what we're going to be covering over here. When you're reconciling your bank statement at the end of the month, there are a couple of things you need to do. First of all, we need to enter cleared deposits. We need to enter all our cleared checks. We need to enter any return checks, any checks that might have bounced. So let's start off with the first. Enter cleared deposits. What bank are we looking at? And there you'd have your bank statement in front of you. These are the deposits that we have not cleared as of date. You can click on the individual ones, or you can just say flag all is cleared, unflag all is cleared. So many times the easiest way to do it is flag all is cleared. Usually the newest ones are the ones that aren't cleared. So let's just say that and maybe that. And now I'm going to say F12. We want to exit and update, which is basically saying we're clearing 2 checks for $1,700. Okay to update check file? Correct. Okay, so now we have actually told the computer what deposits have cleared. Now, let's go in and tell it what checks have cleared. There are 2 options here. Let's use full page first. What checking account? This will list all checks that have not been cleared. Okay, it works exactly the same way. We can just say flag all is cleared, then check mark the ones that haven't cleared as of yet. Now notice as we're checking, it's telling me how much is uncleared, how much is cleared. Okay, obviously let's click on this one here, 203. We're going to do something to 203. So once you select all the ones that have cleared and haven't cleared, obviously the dark blue have cleared. The ones that are gray have not. Okay to post, F12. Update check file, yes. That's now been updated. Now there's also another option, enter cleared checks by number. This is used for 2 distinct purposes. Number 1, suppose we made a mistake. Suppose we went into the full page option and said, oh, I clicked something as cleared and I made a mistake. It really wasn't. Now if I go back into here, it's not going to list here. It's the only thing that shows are things that have not been cleared. Well, one of the ways you can reverse that, or some people prefer to do it this way also when they're clearing the checks rather than use full page, is enter cleared checks by number. What checking account? Now you can enter any number you want, whether it's cleared or not cleared. For example, I clicked on 203 and I told the computer it was cleared. Well, maybe I made a mistake. I'm going to type in check number 203. It'll come up and say that's Mass Electric. And what it's going to tell me is it's going to make it not cleared because it knows that it's cleared. So if I hit the enter key, it's now not cleared. If I want to clear it, and some people prefer to just read the check numbers and type them in, you hit the check number, it'll tell you the date of the check. If it's not cleared, it'll automatically check mark cleared because it assumes that's why you typed it in. If it was cleared, it'll automatically assume that you want to change it. So when I hit the enter key, obviously the newest is always at the top. So what I did first is I told it it was not cleared. When I typed it again, it said it was cleared. So you can type in any check number that you know of. Obviously, if the check number is not out there, it's going to tell you it's not out there. So whether you prefer to just type in check numbers and hit the enter key, there's a cleaning company. It was checked as not cleared, so now it's going to mark it as cleared. Or now when you hit the escape key, it's telling me exactly how much is cleared, how much is not. So you have 3 options: entering it by number, entering it by full page, and also entering your deposits. Now there's one other thing that happens occasionally. You may get a check that's bounced. Now you find out that, okay, I have a check that I posted, and it did not clear. Okay, first of all, you need to look up the deposit of when you deposited that. So let's go in and look at a deposit. Now we made a deposit. The reference number is 139. And if I click on that, I may see, and I can look up the actual check and see when it was. Now what I want to do is enter return checks. This check was returned to me. I would enter the check number. I would enter the reference number. I mean the bank number, the reference number, and the date that I deposited this. Or some people would prefer to put the date that they found out that it did not clear. So that's up to you whether you use the date of the check when you put it in, or whether you use the date that you found out that it wasn't cleared. You may want to put the customer's name or who gave you the check and the amount of the check. And now I'm going to hit F4. This will create a new bad check record. Okay, so now in my deposit file, that is now taken, that $1,000 is taken out of the deposit for that day, and it's recorded. Okay, now that we've put all our cleared checks in the system, what cleared, what hasn't, we told it what deposits cleared and what hasn't, we've put any return checks in. Now what do we want to do is we want to actually run a report. Outstanding deposit and checks. Let's click on that. It wants to know my checking account. It wants to know the date. I want to know right up to today. My bank deposit has the end of the month, which would probably be 3/31. But I'm looking at settling my bank as of today, the 17th. Okay, now we're looking at this here. And what we're looking at here is that we have the date of each check that has, this is things that have not been cleared. So our cleared balance, which should agree to our checking account, is $37,676. Outstanding deposits, these are deposits that have not cleared, are $1,725. Outstanding checks are $7,278. Our new current balance is this. So this $37,000 should agree to your bank statement. That's what's on your bank statement as of the end of the month. This should agree to what's in your checkbook as of right now. This is the difference between the two. These are the two deposits that have not cleared, that's not reflected on my statement. These are the checks that haven't been cashed that aren't reflected on my statement. Okay, so now we've balanced our checkbook. What if there's a problem and you need to look something up? What if things aren't working out too well? It's not balancing, I'm off by some reason. Well, there are a couple of reports you may want to look at here, and we'll just quickly run over those. Number one is running checkbook balance. It wants to know the checking account. It wants to know the date range that I want to look at. Well, maybe I know I balanced everything as of October or February 1st. So I want to look at everything from the date I know I balanced to now. What was the balance as of that time? Because obviously we got a problem, so we're going to start right from scratch. Well, I know last time I balanced a checkbook, there was $12,000 there. And now what it'll do, and there again you can create it, put it on the screen, it'll tell me every single thing that's outstanding in my balance. It'll tell me every single check that I put in. In this case, there was just a deposit. And it'll give me a running balance. So let's go back and do that with no date at all, and we'll get a little bit more data to look at here. So we're going to go into running balance, and I'm just going to put right here, and let's just say I started off with $10,000. It'll tell me date by date what my balance is and everything that affected. So this is my running balance. If you have your checkbook, you should be able to look at this on every single day, and this should be the balance. So it's kind of an easy way to say, okay, where did I go off? Maybe somewhere along the way I made a mathematical error. Maybe one of these numbers are here wrong, but you can check your balance on a daily basis and notice when it doesn't agree. I know I balanced it here, so I started off in balance. Somewhere one of these numbers are going to be off, and you'll see exactly, okay, maybe it's off right here. Maybe I made a mistake on a check. Maybe I made a mistake on some math. So that's an area that running checkbook balance is an area that you'd probably want to do if in fact there is a problem. Now there are some other nice reports that you may want to look at. Obviously we know you can reprint a bank deposit slip anytime you wish. Check register. Check register is you can list your check. There again you can do it by create your own sort. This is the how you want to pick it out, by vendor, by check number, by keyword. I can type in anything I want. Do I want to print deposits? Do I want to print GL entries? Do I want to print the readmittance of the checks? Do I want to print subtotals? Do I want to exclude bank transfers? Do I want to print a report? Do I want to create a drill down? Do I want to export into Excel spreadsheet? So you have many options. We've gone over these options on the reporting section in AP. Let's go in and let's print out deposits. Maybe we're going to print we're going to exclude bank transfers, and I want to create a drill down. And we've gone over the drill down option before, but let's just do it one more time. Maybe I want to sort it by date and then maybe description. All vendors, all dates. And so I'm getting sorted by my date and then with date description. There again, I have a drill down, so if I click on that, I will get right to my vendor, and I can find out anything that I want. Total checks, total deposits. Okay, that's your check register. Reconcile check register. There again, starting bank, ending bank. I just want to get a listing of cleared checks. I want to get a listing of open checks. I want to get a listing of all checks. Whatever date range I want. Here's my total. We've gone over outstanding deposits. Cash flow. Cash flow is a very interesting report. It's something that most owners would like to see at the end of every month. Let's select cash flow. Do I want to see all banks or just pick out one particular bank? I see all banks. I want to see where my money's going. I don't care what bank it is. What date range do you want to see? There again, it may be something you want to see at the end of every month. What this will do will give you a very interesting report. It'll tell you any date that you had activity. So these are the dates that I have had something happened. I either made a deposit or I spent money. These are deposits that I made. This is checks I've written out. So it basically tells me my cash flow. If there were no activity on any date, like here we go from 9/10, obviously we're going here from 11/25, there were no activity. So it only prints dates by activity. It's going to give me every single date and what came in, what went out. It also gives me a summary broken down for every single month for the year. And it'll tell me an average. The average that I'm depositing, which is $1,600, and the average that I'm spending. Obviously, this is not good. I'm averaging $1,600 a month. I'm averaging $3,100 spending. And this is a really good tool, especially if you're in a seasonal business, where you'll probably see there are certain months where you spend more money than you take in. Hopefully, there are months where you take in more money than you spend. So this is cash flow. Another thing is cash flow with detail. If you give this cash flow to an owner, typically if there's a problem, they'll say, well, I want to see what makes up all this stuff. Why are we spending so much money? Where's my money going? Well, cash flow with detail, there again, the same thing. But the difference is it'll actually list the detail. So besides every single date, it'll tell me, like for example, this is saying AP out. These are AP checks. There's one to the 9X. There's one to Commercial Supplier Inc. There's some deposits that I made. Larry Bird gave me a deposit of 5. Mike Dicker gave me a deposit of 2. So these are checks. So you can see now what is coming in, what is going out. You know, this is the deposit I made for this date. You know, and it'll tell you exactly whether they auto deposits, whether they were auto deductions, and how they were put in. So this here gives you a little bit more detail. Checks deposited by date, by keyword, checking account, date range. There again, this will give you the detail of every single deposit. where it came from. They'll sort it by date, tell you exactly how much was currency. There again, this is sometimes a good area. If somebody did bounce a check, you can just do a listing, and you can do a look. Maybe you know the amount of the check. So maybe I'm looking for a check that was $553. Well, I could just go 5.3. This could be 100 pages long, 1,000 pages long. And now it tells me, okay, that was Evel Knievel. He wrote me a check on a 9/12/96 for $553. Find the next one. So there again, we give you some good tools to find things, and there's always a way to find anything you want. If your check comes back and you can't remember where it came from, run a report and just do a find. Okay, we've gone over reconciling your checking account, running some of these reports. That concludes this section.